Yo, back again. Today we are on Viessa with our Cold-Bloodedness build, which is so strong right now for bossing. This is probably the best build for Infernal Walker, outside of trying to one-shot with Haley. Before we get into the build, as usual, I will go over some things I think will help with your overall gameplay. We are proccing 3 different self-buffs with her. The first is Cold-Bloodedness. With the Transcendent mod, it changes our 2 into a self-buff that gives a 5% skill power increase, a 20% skill cost decrease, and a 20% cooldown reduction rate. So now we're in the lab, and let's check our cooldown on Blizzard before we proc Cold-Bloodedness, and it is at a 15.4 second cooldown. We'll proc Cold-Bloodedness now with our 2. And now Blizzard is at a 6-second cooldown, and our Cold-Bloodedness buff lasts for 22 seconds. So ideally, one Cold-Bloodedness buff can get you 3 casts of Blizzard before you have to recast Cold-Bloodedness. Next, we have the Blue Beetle on, and this is just a stat stick. The Blue Beetle buff only procs from her 1, 2, and 3 ability, as you can see in the left-hand side in my buff bar when I use it. And that's it right there, and it has a pretty quick cooldown. Good way to keep this up, especially if you're already using your Cold-Bloodedness and you've used a couple Blizzards. Just shoot a 1 out again, and you'll have the buff for your Blizzard. Let's see exactly what the Blue Beetle does. When using a fusion skill, grants the self-unique ability Arcane Energy with a set chance, Arcane Energy, 100% trigger rate, 10-second duration, and it gives us 115% skill critical hit rate. So now let's look at our skill critical hit rate before we proc. We're at a 46.155. We'll proc it. And that puts us at a 63.405. And the third buff we're getting is from the Inversion Reinforcement, and it's the cap of the bottom row. When using a skill, grants Quantum Domain, skill effect range 0.8%, and skill power 0.6% up to 15 stacks. And this lasts until you die, and this is pretty simple. You can proc this all the way up to 15 before you get into the fight, and this technique will work for most of all Descendants. You just use your skills before the Colossus spawns. So, and as you can see on your buff bar on the left, you have 8 stacks, 9 stacks, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, like so. Okay, and let's go over her mods. We are using Cold-Bloodedness, like I said. We have a lot of cooldown. We have Focus on Chill, MP Conversion, and Nimble Fingers, with Focus on Tech, all giving us cooldown. Of course, Focus on Chill giving us chill power, and Focus on Tech giving us tech skill power. And for our next skill power mod, we have Dangerous Ambush. After that, we have our 4 crit hit rate, crit hit damage mods. And then we have our 1 HP mod for HP amplification. If you felt really risky and you wanted to get a little extra damage, you could take HP amplification off and simply swap Battle with Stamina. And although it is very little, 8.8% skill duration, this will change the duration of your Blizzard to 6.5, which will actually give you an extra tick of damage. But just be aware, when you are running this, you will be at 5,000 health, which isn't too bad if you know the fight, but it is risky. Next, let's look at our Reactor. We have a Chill Tech Reactor with skill crit hit damage and additional skill attack when attacking Colossus. For our set, we are obviously using the Slayer set. On the auxiliary power, max HP, MP recovery out of combat. For the sensor, max MP, MP recovery in combat. The memory, MP recovery modifier in defense. And for our processor, max shield, shield recovery modifier. And then we have our Blue Beetle. It doesn't really matter if you have this built or not. I have rolled the substats on mine, but none of that really matters. You will not be shooting this gun. And the only mod that's really worth slotting in here would be Defense Master. When defeating an enemy, defense plus 128.3% for 10 seconds with a 15-second cooldown. And then we'll go over the rest of our inversion tree. We have Void Resistance. When HP is 50% or lower in intercept battles, grants Void Resistance incoming damage modifier minus 16.5% for 15 seconds. This is a very nice buff. Adrenaline Rush, all movement speeds plus 60% plus for 10 seconds when defeating an enemy, also another nice buff. and heightened sensory cells. This one allows you to stand on the boss when he spawns and get farted on to keep him in place, to do very good damage with your first blizzard. It'll take about a quarter of his shield away instantly, and this just heals you when you get to 20% HP. And as I said, we have the cap on this one, Quantum Domain, and this is very good. You can use this on pretty much every Descendant in the game just by spamming your skills before the fight starts. And that covers everything for Viessa. I personally have been loving playing her lately. I will be doing an absolute zero mobbing build soon, and in the comments, I would love to hear what other builds you guys are interested in. Like and subscribe is appreciated. Support lately has been amazing. The channel is growing faster than I could have ever imagined. If you're not in the Discord, get in there. We have some great discussions about the game, and I am very active in there. You can also catch me live streaming on Twitch. Links are in the description. Thanks, guys. Peace.